The following portion of the Arizona Daily Mix is sponsored on behalf of Canyon Vista Recovery Center by Mesa Chamber of Commerce.
Addiction is a disease that affects thousands of Americans each year. Here to talk about their holistic approach and how they help their patients overcome addiction is Darren Lee and Heather Amato from Canyon Vista Recovery Center. Welcome, both of you. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Okay, so I want to know a little bit about your story and how you got into doing what you do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been in the behavioral health industry since I was in my 20s. I was always interested in what made people tick. I've got some personal history with addiction, mental health concerns as well, and so that just kind of fed into my interest over the years. And so it was kind of a combination of personal and professional interest.
There you go, and led you to starting Canyon Vista. And Heather, how did you come on board?
Kind of the same thing. I had some personal experience with addiction, and it actually, being able to come through on the other end created a career for me. I love helping people. I love navigating the industry because there's a lot of options. There's a lot of things that people need, and I love to connect people to resources. So that's my part.
That's great. This is definitely a rising concern throughout the entire country, but especially here in Arizona with the rise of a lot of opioid use here. How do you help treat your patients? Because I know what you do is special, it's unique, it's a holistic approach.
For sure. In most cases, maybe not all, but in most cases, we need to address the physiological component. Substances like opioids, alcohol, and benzodiazepines are physically addicting, and so coming off of those without medical and psychiatric intervention can be very dangerous. So usually it starts off in a detox part of our facility.
Right.
We always recommend that people step down from that level of care into our residential facility, where we can then start to address the mental, emotional, psychological, and even spiritual aspects of the disease.
And I know this can be a fairly long process. I mean, 90 days or more?
Well, I mean, at Canyon Vista, we certainly do everything we can to have lengths of stay be as long as possible. But yeah, there's definite research out there that demonstrates that people who tend to stay in some sort of formalized treatment setting, whether it's at the level of care that we offer or at a lower level of care for 90 days plus, generally tend to have better treatment outcomes.
I see. And what about your treatment in terms of having that, like you said, emotional and even spiritual care afterwards? How do you see that affect people when they come out of your treatment plans?
Well, significantly, because I think that in many cases that's the problem, is there's a mental, emotional, psychological, and spiritual bankruptcy that participates in and contributes to the addiction in the first place. And so by addressing those and encouraging people to continue cultivating wellness in those areas, we see people stay clean.
Yeah, and I'm sure not just stay clean, but thrive.
For sure,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's really cool. So, Heather, for you, tell me a little bit about what you do and how you work with people there.
Yeah, so I'm the Director of Business Development. So my job entails connecting with community partners, getting the word out there about Canyon Vista and the services that we provide. It's about building relationships, and how we can partner with others is really the sum of it all, but I also like to get my hands dirty. I work with clients, I work with families. I really love working with them on the front end and kind of like coaching them, like, hey, this is what's going to happen, that you might get this phone call, they might say this, but it's all a part of the process. Trust us, things will work out. And most of the time they listen, and I love, the other end of it. Once they've become like an alumni of our program, they come back, they're sober, their family usually sends a text like, you guys saved my son's life. I'm like, no, you listened, and he did the work, and this is where he's at.
He saved his life.
Yes.
Ah, you're giving me chills. Okay, so for people out there who are ready to work with you guys, how do they get in touch?
Yeah, so our phone number should be on the screen. Connect with admissions, and even if Canyon Vista isn't the right fit, reach out to us. They'll get you connected with me, and I can find them a place. Let's find a place that's going to work for you. Let me know what you're going through, and I will get you connected to the right resource if we are not it.
That's so great. And yeah, I'm sure you are the right resource for a lot of people, but that's so important that it's about the person more so than just coming to you guys. It's about getting them healthy.
Yes.
That's really great. Thank you both so much for being here today.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
All right, guys, don't go anywhere because there's more of the Arizona Daily Mix coming up after this. Hey, you guys.
The preceding portion of the Arizona Daily Mix was sponsored on behalf of Canyon Vista Recovery Center by Mesa Chamber of Commerce.